Dr. Kaeli. So we just want to give an explanation of what it is that we're doing to everyone else who's going to be watching this video. So this is for Anthropology 447, and it's applied anthropology. And so what we have to do in this class is choose a cultural group and study it and find out what it is that's going on in it. Is there anything that we can communicate to other groups of people? And so the culture that we chose to study was the dating culture of Byuh, Hawaii, which has brought a lot of very interesting results and facts that we feel like will really help the students here on campus. But not only the students, also the ecclesiastical and professors that are here on campus, because there's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of push and bringing it up in classes that we've noticed. And so just to explain to everyone, applied anthropology, or at least anthropology, is the study of people or culture, what they do, how they do it, why they do it. And so we decided to find out, well, we thought, what do we need to know about dating? So one of the main ones was like, what is dating? How do people view it? How do different cultures view it? And so we started with that, and we went with the etic perspective as well as the enic perspective. And for those who aren't quite familiar with those terms, etic is an outsider perspective. So it could be someone who isn't in the dating scene, or like, that's why we went and interviewed bishops and stake presidents, because they're not actually in the students' feet or shoes. And then the emic is, as students, we're in the middle of this. And so Joseph and I are both part of the BYU dating part, and so we were like, okay, how can we do applied anthropology through this? And so we actually did go on dates ourselves and practiced what we learned throughout it. And it brought a lot of interesting things. It was cool to be able to communicate with people, especially after I'd like interview guys and they'd say, oh, hey, that's what a date is. And they're not as intimidated by it, because we both have now the same understanding of what a date is. And so they'd be a lot more okay and comfortable with just saying, hey, let's go do this, let's go on a date. And then we both had we knew what we expected from each other. And so it wasn't as much of, I don't know, it wasn't scary. And so as applied anthropology, we were just using the things that we were able to learn as we interviewed more and more people, and I was able to see, oh, if a guy does this, this is what it means. And if a guy asks me in this way, this is how important it is to him, or things like that. And so that is basically just a really quick recap and explanation of how we did our project. A lot of interviewing, but also trying to find out, okay, why is it the way people think that way, and basing it back to what their real cultural roots are. Hey, Joseph, what's up?
Oh, hey, man, I just been thinking, I know there's like a problem here at BYU Hawaii.
What problem?
It's our dating culture here. I just feel it's not really understood, and there's a lot of stigma, and there's a lot of miscommunication. So I think what we need to do is kind of like clarify this. And one way is by going out there and talking to our fellow students and seeing what they think about this culture and what we need to do to help change it as well.
Hey Kyla, in a short sentence, what is the purpose of dating?
Purpose of dating is to meet new people and get married.
What is the purpose of dating?
I think the purpose of dating is to get married.
Like because I never like officially date someone, I guess, just hang out with girls, and if I really want to date someone, which probably I will think about just make another more like close friend.
Dating.
Dating is not only getting to know each other, but how you feel with them, how his or her perspective on family and friends and outside the world, besides only just being with you. So then you get to know him more than just only you two getting to know each other.
Purpose of dating.
The purpose of dating is to get to know people.
Dating.
I think the purpose of dating is to get to know people and the different ways that they are, so you can see what you like for marriage.
Of dating.
I think the purpose of dating is to find the person you want for the rest of your life with.
Hey Blake, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, how much pressure do you feel when you go on a date?
I'll say 4.
Thank you.
3.
3.
Yeah.
When you go on a date.
2.
When you go on a date.
4.
Think the date.
I think it depends on the date. Average, probably 4.
And on the dating culture of Byuh, Hawaii.
I'm so confused about it here.
It's confusing. What do you think, Roxanne? What's your opinion on it?
Lots. Awful.
Awful? What do you guys think?
What's the dating culture?
Yeah.
What's the dating culture in New York?
Well, as girls, it's really hard because the 6-to-1 ratio makes it really hard for us.
6-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
But you beat it.
I did.
Would you say yes to a guy if he asked you out when you weren't interested in him? Yes. Would you say yes to a guy? Maybe. Okay. Sean, would you ask out a girl on a date if you weren't interested in her?
I will ask. Still, I wanted to get to know more about her. I want to know about her qualities and what kind of person she is. And I want to be a good friend, so it's going to help me for in some.
That's what I found. Okay, so I was visiting my best friend in Holly 6, and look what is all over in there. This is tacked up on every single one of the doors. Wedding dresses. What the heck? Can you believe this? So this is the last week of the project for the semester. I don't know what day it is because it'd be really cool if I said like day 930 or something. Or it's not even that. It's probably like day 93 or something. But this is all the information that we've been able to gather, excluding I guess also the stuff on our phones that we have found for our project for the dating culture of Byuh, Hawaii. And we actually have in our possession the numbers, which I can't show you at the moment, of percentage of male to female students as well as married to single. And we're going to be hopefully releasing that information later in this video. But we just want you guys to know that we do have it, and we've been working on it this whole semester just for you guys. So yeah, lots of hard work. Happy finals.
So here's the ratio of men to women, and we decided to ask BYU students what they thought it was.
Ask her. What do you think the ratio is of boys to girls here on campus?
Ratio of 10. I say there's
For
every boy, there's probably 5 girls.
6 or.
I heard it was 4 to 1. Oh.
How do you feel like it is, Bryce?
I don't know. I don't really think about it.
Like 5 to 1.
5 to 1 ratios of men to women here at Byuh, Hawaii.
3 to 1.
3 to 1.
2 to 1.
2 to 1.
I heard 6 to 1. 3 to 1. 3 to 1.
What do you think is the ratio of men to women at Byuh, Hawaii?
Like 6 to 1.
6 to 1. 10. Just like, is it 1 to this?
3 to 1.
3 to 1. Okay.
5 to 2.
I
would agree with her on
5 to 2. Okay.
Of ratio of women to men. Men to women.
I think it's 6 to 1, isn't it?
6 to 1.
It's the ratio of men to women here at Byuh, Hawaii.
5 to 1. 4 to 1.
4 to 1. 5 to 1.
1 to 4. Or 4 to 1.
So, men being the one.
Men are the 1. Yeah.
Definitely men are the 1. Oh, shit.
So, what do you think is the ratio?
4 to 1.
4 to 1? Well, I have the numbers, and it's actually less than 2 to 1.
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness.
No, but it's actually not.
No way.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Isn't that crazy? So
Yeah.
it's all the way back from 2013, and this is what it is.
Oh.
This is what it is.
So what is it actually? It's 1 and 1.5? I knew it.
You were good. You
I was actually
know.
the closest one because I'm a feminist.
You.
No.
So there
I think that's a
3
lie.
guys, there's 5 girls serving 3 guys.
Where are you getting this?
So I got this straight from the registrar's office. I got special permission. to go to my teacher asked
I feel like it's that.
Yeah.
This is straight
They
blasphemy.
can't
This is a lie.
They can't discriminate between male and female, so I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I promise you, this is a lie. I will do my own
This
research
is
on
my
this.
teacher's the actual.
No way.
I believe that.
Yeah. So there's actually not
What? What?
Why does everybody think that? That's crazy.
That's a good question. I don't fun fact for you guys.
I thought it was 1 to 7. That's oh my gosh. That is so
You guys can't
crazy.
complain anymore, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I'm gonna be like, sorry guys.
What?
This is the actual.
No
So
way.
it's not even 1 to 2.
So,
So I would say for every 5 girls, there's 3 guys here at Byuh.
so it's a bit of
I thought there were like much more. I know. Everyone thinks that there's more.
See, boys are getting more than now. He's talking now.
Here's the actual representation of what it actually is.
1 to 1, 4, 5.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
No way.
What do you think of that?
That's insane. I didn't know that. I think it's just the myth that goes around, campus that they always talk about, where there's always like a 1 to 7 or a 1 to 6 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
That's gnarly. Where did you get this information?
From the registrar's office.
They just let you have that?
Yeah, well, we had to have Brother Keeley to ask for us. But
Interesting. That's good to know. I'm gonna take that home and stop spreading those rumors,
yeah, so now you know the truth.
Those kids.
The actual is not even 1 to 2.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
1 to 4.5.
So these are what? The actual is right here.
Okay, so like 1.6.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's crazy.
It's not even 2 to 1.
1.6 to 1.
There's not even 1 to 2.
No way.
What? Shut up.
It's like 1 to 1.5.
Nikki, thank you.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Thank you.
That's
That's
crazy. So it's like
so
1
weird.
to 1.5.
Yeah, so there's, and this is just students in general.
These are the numbers that represent how diverse our school is, with ethnicities, the home area representations, and also we have the top 5 states of the U.S. mainland represented, and the top 10 international countries, because this is a diverse school in which there's a lot of cultures coming together as one.
Alright, so as we undertook this study of the dating culture of Byuh, Hawaii, we began interviewing a population of the students. We were able to find that all the different cultures have their own unique way of viewing dating. We realized that that was probably causing some barriers, that one group of people will view dating in this way, but a different culture will view it in a different way. So we decided we needed to really start studying the different cultures, and so we'd interview specifically students, say example from all from Tonga, and then we'd interview a bunch from Korea and the Samoa and things like that to find out how does each culture view dating. And as we did that, we saw there were differences, and we realized that that was probably contributing to the miscommunication and issues that we find here on campus, like the challenges that in Asia, for example, one doesn't just go on a date to get to know someone as they do here in America or in the mainland. There's a very Western concept to just be able to go up to someone that you hardly know or maybe don't know and just be like, I want to get to know you better. Let's go get dinner, or let's go on a date. That is just, there's not as much commitment to it. But in many other cultures, you do not do that. That is not okay. It's more of, you wait till you really know the person very well and you're like, you know what, I want to start a relationship. And that's when you did the first initial ask them out on a date. And so we realized that a lot of the international students are people who aren't from like a Western American culture. They do understand that that's the way that they date here, but it's different from their culture. It's not the way they were raised, and so it's a little difficult for them to kind of switch. And I was interviewing an Indonesian girl, and she was telling me how, because I was even asking her, like, would you be fine with going out with a guy if you didn't know him very well, or would you even ask out a guy yourself? And that's very much not her culture in Indonesia. But she says she knows that that's okay here, but it still would be hard for her to do it just because it's so different, it's so foreign. And so we decided, that's part of the reason we decided to do the project.